Okay, so now, like I said, MMA Junkie, MMA Weekly, all the major ones reporting that after this event, Strikeforce is done for. So clear that up, because I've heard just like, well, I guess what's really going on?
Well, a lot of those stories are written and published without any input from our side, without any attempt.
Okay, so now you have the forum. So
nothing's been determined yet. It hasn't. No. I'm not saying that it won't go that way, but when people wrote that Strikeforce is over, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, absolutely false. It just factually incorrect.
So this January event won't be the last one?
No. I'm not saying it will or it won't. It's saying, the ship hasn't sailed either way. When all the discussions are over and paperwork signed, then we can definitively say. But when you're in negotiations and discussions about the future of the promotion, for stories to come out that say it's done, they're simply inaccurate. It's a lack of research, lack of sort of follow-up, by the writers who are writing that.
So from what I'm getting is you're telling me that there's a chance, but it's still ongoing. There's a chance it could stay on. There's a chance that it cannot stay on. If it doesn't, I guess what does that mean? It's just folds completely in Showtime out of MMA, or
whatever the resolution is of the Strikeforce piece of it. There's continuing appetite on Showtime for MMA, and we've been in the business for several years. And I expect if we can find an opportunity that makes sense, that we'd be, continue to be in it. But it's sort of looking at each opportunity as it comes along.
When will you guys know definitively?
I think pretty shortly. I mean, we're roughly I mean, we're a month away from the January 12th event, and we're down to the final details, and then once paperwork signed and all of that, then people can speak definitively about what's going on.
I'm kind of getting the feeling that it is going that way.
Look,
you're saying.
Not necessarily. I sort of have a sense of which way it goes, but things aren't done until they're done. There's been no secret there have been challenges in sort of, and not so much in the relationship, it's in the structure. I think operating the Strikeforce promotion under the larger deal that Zuffa has with Fox, is a challenge because there's a lot of restrictions in that deal.
Okay, given that, just to me, how that relationship's been with Zuffa, and now looking back at it,
I think the major challenges have come not from the relationship, because they're smart guys and successful businessmen. It's more the sort of circumstances. I mean, no one's ever operated, a sort of independent, separate promotional brand in the context of a big deal with a big, exclusive television structure. That's where it was strange and unwieldy. That's where it is. And quite honestly, it's not a situation that any of us sort of anticipate.
How's it going to feel personally for you if it does go that way to let go of Strikeforce?
It's probably going to be a lot more difficult for other people. I've got a year into it, and while I like personally a lot of the fighters, and I'm enjoying their fighting. I mean, there are people at Showtime who have much longer into it, and if it ends that way, it'll be disappointing. But this is a network that has shown that we can develop stars in boxing and MMA. And that is not going to change because one promoter or another leaves our deal.
You must be so glad that these boxers aren't getting injured as much as they are.
You know what? I had some bad luck this year as well. I've had some,
That's
right.
That's the biggest hiccup.
Yeah, it's it's a challenge in MMA. It's been an epidemic. It's hit UFC. It's hit Strikeforce. Both. So I'm not sure whether it's just pure coincidence or there's a bigger trend there. I think everyone's asking that question.
I don't know. I don't think these fighters are on purposely getting injured.
Oh no. I mean, is it?
People have said that. They're getting injured on purpose.
No, I don't see that. It's just sort of, is this a larger trend? Is there something that's going on in the training methods or something that they're just, or is this just bad luck?
They train a lot. And they train everything.
Yeah.
Steven, thank you very much.
All right, sure, you're welcome.